So Harvey, Barron, been quite a couple of years for you. At the start of this season, how are you feeling about things?
Really excited. I think what John's brought and what Richie's got going on behind the scenes, the club's in a really good place. You know, the boys are happy to be here. It's good, a good environment to come into every day, and we're all enjoying it.
What's it been like working with John Cartwright?
It's a bit scary, really. You kind of don't know what. He's a bit. I don't know. You don't want to cross the line with him, but you want to test him a bit to see what he's like. But nah, he's great. When he talks, you listen. Everything he says, you take it in because you know he's right. Yeah, he's great.
Let's just go down that route a little bit. When you get a coach like that maybe commands respect, let's put it that way, how does it affect you? Does it bring out the best in you, a coach like that? Yeah,
I'd say so, because you don't want to either mess up that trust or disrespect him by not doing what he's asking you to do, and you want to make sure you're playing well every week and making sure you're in his good books.
And I guess a coach that commands respect, you've got that discipline then within your group as a result?
Yeah, 100%. When you get him shouting and screaming, and I think that gives everyone a bit of a rocket up the bum. So yeah.
How much of a difference have you seen then from so far this year, working with John Cartwright, to perhaps what you've had in the past?
I think it's a lot more disciplined. You know, the way we're playing at the minute as well, and the way we're training, everything's a lot more system based. A lot more, we're doing something to carry it on, not just do this and then we'll do that way. It's a lot more structured. Everything's got a purpose, and everyone's got a purpose.
And as far as you're concerned and your game, do you feel that that's changed or developed at all in that short space of time?
I'd say it's developed, yeah. I've got a lot more confidence now with what he's come in and wanting us to do. I feel like that suits my playing style, and I know it suits Lewis's as well. So that gives us confidence. But in terms of last year, I don't think there's much has changed. I think what Grixie had was doing was pretty similar to what John wants us doing.
You mentioned Lewis Martin there, another young player in that squad. There's quite a lot of young players at the moment. Do you get support from one another, all being in a similar position coming through?
You do, yeah, but we're all on the back of each other as well when any of us mess up or do something. But no, we're all supportive. We're all close, and we're all a good group of mates. So we all want to help and want each other to do the best. You
were given squad number 2 this year. Obviously, it probably matters more to fans than players. I don't know as to what numbers you're given, but the fact that you were given a squad number in what would be the starting 17, how much did that mean to you? Oh,
it meant the world. We had no idea, and we came in for testing after the season, and I sat down with Richie, and he told me I was getting the 2 shirt, and I couldn't believe it. I was just over the moon. Everyone's dream to get that starting shirt. A lot of good players have worn the shirt before me, and a lot of the players that I looked up to and learned from wore them as well. So it was a privilege.
Saying about learning, how much did you learn last year in the situation that the club was in?
Yeah, I learned loads. Mainly about just becoming a better player. The physicality wise, and needing to bulk up. So I bulked up over the off season, and knowing where my body needs to be, and where I need to be at.
And I'm guessing as well the experience of some of the games that you played in last year, it's experiences that you don't get any other way, do you?
No, exactly. We played Wigan, we played teams like that, and then once you play them and finish the game, and you get through it, you start to feel like, oh, right, I can do it. Everyone starts to feel better about themselves, even though the results weren't there, but you start to feel that I'm meant to be here. You start to get used to it and start to feel at home.
And belief's quite a big thing, isn't it, in so many ways?
Yeah, 100%. You got your mate next to you who you need to believe in him to help you, and you need to believe in yourself to come up with the plays that you need to do, and all stuff like that. So yeah, it's massive.
You've been given a deal until the end of 2027. How much does it mean to have that sorted, and where you are for the next few seasons? Yeah, it just gives me a chance to put my head down and carry on and crack on with the project that we've got going on at the minute at Hull. Delighted to be here, but the hard work carries on. You mentioned about players that you've looked up to as well as time's gone by. What kind of players were you talking about there? Oh, when Adam Swift was here, he was a main factor. He learnt most of there's a lot of stuff that he has in his game that I took and been trying to put into my game. Barrett Farimo, when he was here, he was a big softie really. He was big in when I first started, because he was here when I first started up at the first team. He was the one that kind of took me under his wing and taught me stuff and helped me. So yeah. And now in that squad, where are you looking for that experience, maybe for that guidance? I'd say Zach's helped me a lot. Zach and Briscoe.
Zach's done it all, Briscoe's done it all, so anything I need, Zach's obviously a centre, so he helps with what he wants outside him, so when we play together, and Briscoe obviously, winger that's won everything, so any little questions or anything I'm unsure on, it's just easy ask.
Now you future very firmly in rugby league, but you started off with a football background, I understand. So what changed? What got you into this sport?
I had trials in a few places and nothing really came of it. And then a few of my mates played, and they said, if you come play against Longcroft, you get out of school. So I just said, yeah, I'll go play. And then one of Matty Faulkner, who's at Cast now, he was there watching, and I went through the development, through talent transfer programme, through the development, through to scholarship, and then to here today.
And long may it continue, I guess. Now you played Wigan last week, a tough game. How did you feel about your own performance?
I think I started off a bit shaky. There was a few little incidents that I should have done better on. There was a few defensive reads that I should have done better on. But overall, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't my worst game. Obviously, it was tough coming out of backfield. Would have liked a few more carries, but yeah, it is what it is. It's hard. It's hard to always to have the perfect game, but I wasn't too annoyed, but I wasn't too impressed.
But still, as we've mentioned, early in the season, plenty to build on, you feel?
Yeah, 100%. It's the weather plays a big part at the moment, so it's just about getting your head down, getting the carries, and then the good stuff comes later when the sun comes out.
And on to Huddersfield this week. You mentioned Adam Swift. You could be coming up against him this week.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I know his game quite well, so I'm hoping to have a bit of a read on him. But he's a good player, so we'll see what happens.
How big a game is it this week? I know it's early, and it probably seems a bit too much to be saying that at this stage. But how much would it be for you to get another win under your belt? Oh,
it'd be huge. I think a lot of people wrote us off at the start of the year. And then 3 games in to have 2 wins, especially with the first 2 games, I think it'd be really good for us. And then roll us into the next home game where we had a big home following on the first game. So yeah, it'd be massive for us to get 2 wins out of 3.
What was said after Friday's game, Harvey? I mean, how did you boys review it? Obviously, 'cause it was so early in the season. Obviously, context is a big word, isn't it?
Yeah, it was disappointing. From the game we had the week previous. We felt like we were below the bar from where we were and where we wanted to be. But we didn't think the scoreline reflected what it was. There was parts of the game when we were in it, when we were challenging them, we were going set for set with them. But ultimately, a few little mistakes and little bits of detail that weren't there was what let us down. So the main thing this week was about our detail and about our effort areas and little stuff like that to get right.
Obviously going into Huddersfield this week, it's a chance to put that into practice. I know it's very cliche, but it showed a lot about Hull FC to respond, like you've just said, and get a win on the board. Yeah,
100%. That's what we're going for. We don't want to be a team that just rolls over when first bit of adversity comes. We got beat by quite a lot, so we need to put that right.
What do you think of Huddersfield this year? Obviously they've signed a few new players, haven't they? Tom Burgess is one. A lot of new boys in that team, so it'll be a bit different to what you're used to.
Yeah, they've got a few unknown players that have come over. Obviously got Sutty, who was here last year. But they're struggling at the minute. They've got a few injuries, I think. They're struggling for half-backs. But it doesn't really matter. They could field any team. We're going to go out there and do what we do.
How's the squad analysed our own injury crisis? Because there's about 7 or 8 or 9 at one point now that are out injured. So is that spoken of, or is it just like a next man up mentality?
No, yeah, it's next man up. We've all done the work in pre-season. We all know each other's roles. We all know the roles of ourselves. So whoever goes in and fills that spot, we have belief and trust in them.
Cheers, Harvey.
Hi, Harvey. Just going back to your contracts, great that you've got that extension to that. In terms of waiting around, not knowing the future, does that play on your mind as a player? Is it something that bothers you on and off the field or not?
I suppose it could do, especially not being playing well. I feel like it can build up and play on your mind. But at the end of the day, it's just what can you do to get that contract or get that bit of exposure that you need. You need to work hard, train hard. So it always drives you on, whether or not you've got a contract or not got a contract. You should always be striving for getting a new contract or getting that one that you're waiting for.
Yeah. And just John Asiata mentioned pre-season before the Catalan trip about the mentality, and he'd hoping Hull can finish in the top 6.
Yeah.
And said all the squad should be looking at aiming around that area. What do you see as a reasonable outcome at the end of the season?
I think it's hard to say. Obviously, everyone wants to play in the playoffs. Everyone wants to be there at the end of the year, but it's a big rebuild. You know, we've had a lot of players come in, a lot of players go out. Got a lot of different things going on, so it's just about improving and getting better. But obviously, we're not going to sit here and hope to just do a little bit better than last year. We're going to come here and win and get in them playoffs.
Yeah. And in terms of you coming up against probably the one, if not the best team in Super League last Friday, what did you take out that game personally in terms of your development?
Just little things defensively and little ways in attack when we're coming off our own end. There was one time I got dragged into touch, and we knew we were going to do that. So I let myself down on that, let the team down on that, because we knew they were going to do that. So little things like that, knowing who you're against. They had the big pack, so knowing how to play against them, you can't just go bulldozing into them. They're gonna dominate you. And then obviously field at the back was unplayable really. So just little pickups, little bits of detail that we'll take into next week.
Brilliant. All the best for the weekend.
Thank you.
How much did you, as a player, learn about yourself in the experiences that you had last year? And would you say that you are a better player now for those experiences? Yeah,
100%. Sometimes you just need to get thrown in the deep end, don't you, to learn to swim. So I think that happened to a lot of us last year. We just kind of got thrown in and we had to figure it out for ourselves, figure it out for each other. And I think by the back end of the year, we all realised how it was that it was that we wanted to do, you know, play rugby with each other and carry on. So it was massive for us all, both physically and educationally.
And obviously coming up, you're one of the players now that survived 2024, you've come through it. You're going into a game against a Huddersfield side that beat you 3 times last year. Does it feel like you owe them one? Yeah, 100%. You know, you always want to beat. Obviously, you always want to win on the weekend. But when they beat you last year, and you know, there was a few times when we felt like, well, not a few times, but there was a time when we felt like we should have got closer than we did at their place. I remember. You want to get one over, but it's a new year. It's a completely new team. It's a new setup. So it's all a fresh slate really for us. We just want to go and get the win. And obviously you're going up against the likes of Tom Burgess, Jack Murchie, etc. How much has it helped the fact you've played 2 very big, powerful sides in the first 2 games? How much has that helped you build towards this game? Yeah, massively. You know, I don't think they'll be any bigger than the Catalans middles and the Wigan middles. So. And I feel like we both did on the wing. Each wingers did all right. So hopefully we can go into this game and do better than the previous weeks.